Hi, I'm Dave. Welcome back to part 6 of this ongoing series of the Dave's Cave edition. Wow, has that title gone full circle or what? If you don't understand that, then you've probably missed some of the first 5 parts of this saga. I'm including clickable links to each of those in this introduction. If this is your first time here, I encourage you to go back and start at the beginning and move on from there. It makes a whole lot more sense that way. Basically, the apartment is complete, including the plumbing. It's just the access to it that remains to be completed. Since we're new at this landlord business, we really didn't know how much we were expected to do. Do we provide replacement light bulbs or not? Do we put in a supply of toilet paper or not? Okay, those are some pretty extreme examples, but you get the idea. Well, one of the things we did consider was shelf liner. Do we or don't we? We finally decided that liner would be a protection on our investment, so I got the job. This whole project has taken a long time to complete. When I wired the place, I made sure the living room seating light had a 3-way switch in it so it could be controlled from either side of the room. But by the time I actually got around to installing a fixture in the ceiling, you think I could find that wire? Nope. How about in the attic? The floor area there is open to the side. Surely I should be able to find a long length of metal-clad wire from that angle. Nope. Later we did discover it. I did wire it, and I wired it correctly. It just got covered by insulation. Back outside for a while, the crew tackled the sewage ejector pump. As you can see, that thing is heavy. Just like any sewer line, it works by gravity, up to the pump. Then the pump moves everything up the hill through a 2-inch pipe. The crew had that pipe in place a couple of months ago, but the ditch needed cleaning out once again. Then we were ready to reset the line. We were fortunate that's all the further we had to dig. There's an old abandoned pipe up there at the top of the hill. It connects to the main sewer line, and we were able to simply connect to that. Well, will you look at that? It's only taken, 4 months? At least that. Let's take a closer look. Plumbing final approved. Well, don't get me wrong, there's been a number of delays in this process, but by and large, the county hasn't been the problem. In fact, the inspector was great, offering help where needed, and not doing a lot of what inspectors I have experienced have done, be super nitpicky just because it's a homeowner's permit. He judged the project on the quality of the work, period. So refreshing. Now, I recorded this because it was a momentous occasion. This is on Hell, placing the last piece of 5/8 Type X sheetrock in place. The inspector required us to wrap the entire outside of the apartment, sides and bottom, in this stuff. And it ain't cheap. 800 square feet at 32 feet per sheet. That's 25 sheets of Type X sheetrock, nearly $500 on top of the cost of the half-inch stuff we used on the interior. Probably $1,000 just in sheetrock. And that doesn't include the insulation. It doesn't come close to the labor involved. So you can see why I was celebrating the final piece of 5/8 Type X going into place. It's the last one.
Yeah.
The inspector also required us to have a separate entrance for the apartment. So we had to build a hallway from the boarded-up entrance that we're going to use around to the door leading up to the upstairs. And rather than just going 8 feet up like we did in the cave, these studs went all the way to the rafters of the building. At the cost of lumber right now, 2x4s are probably the most expensive, foot for foot, that you can get, if you can get it. I know of several instances where Folks are going with 2x6s because they're actually cheaper. Anyway, that's a lot of 12-foot 2x4s used to build this hallway. And if I wanted a side door to access the space from the rest of the downstairs, that had to be metal. Fortunately, I was able to get a free metal door, so we framed the wall to fit that door. All in all, it looks pretty good, but now I've lost a good chunk of trailer parking. Let's go to Dave's magic yellow pad to show you what's happening. Here's the outline of the building. There's a storage closet here and another one under the stairs. This is the entrance to the space that I showed you in that inset. Now, right now, I'm able to park the 12-foot trailer straight in, but I've obviously lost that luxury. Here's the new hallway wall. So now I have to go in at this angle. And to complicate things, there's a support post right over here and another one right over here. So here's a quick look at the hallway. I'll show more when the project is complete. I decided not to sheetrock this side of the wall. Funds are getting tight and we needed to get this thing done so somebody can move in and we can begin generating a little income before we do that. As you can see, I was able to locate that errant switch leg for the living room ceiling light. Installation was pretty straightforward. It took a bit of doing to get it mounted to the box, but there it is. It's LED, so there's plenty of light. I may decide to go with three-way dimmers like in the bedroom. I think it needs them, but they're $60 a set, so we'll see. Since I was in the living room doing electrical stuff, I decided I needed to complete the changeover to Decora outlets there. The old temporary plugs had been in there way too long. For some reason, working these circuits hot doesn't bother me. It's easier than going down to the panel to kill that circuit, which usually means I have no light in there either. With the stab-in connections, which I would never use for a permanent installation, removing them was way too easy, which is why I don't use them for permanent. Using the screws to attach the wires, I always like to make sure the hook goes in the direction of tightening the screw. One thing about working with metal boxes, I always put a couple of layers of electric tape around the terminals. There's usually almost zero clearance between the outlet and the box, so it's easy to ground against the box or short against another wire in that tight space. Well worth the few seconds it takes to take a couple of wraps around the outlet. Being very careful here to make sure that I don't strip the holes in the metal boxes trying to put the screws in. For some reason, it's very, very easy to do. I don't know if it's the screw or the box, but you got to take it easy here. I don't remember whether I mentioned it, but I'm using oversized plates wherever I can. They do a much better job of covering imperfections around the hole cut. And besides, I just like the looks of them better. Have I showed you the carpet yet? I know it's been in some of the shots up till now, but if I haven't said anything about it, here it is. It's a Traffic Master Groove Color Gray. I don't know how to make sense out of that, but that's what it says on the Home Depot site we ordered it from. And those bar stools? My wife got those at Habitat for Humanity's Restore for $4.95 each. There's an interesting story about this washing machine. Whoever installed it, I think it was one of the Cubans whose English is limited, failed to read the part about removing the shipping rods prior to installation. Now, as it turns out, those things are pretty stout, like a half-inch in diameter stout. They run through the back of the machine and extend all the way inside to the front. Well, we decided to try the washer and dryer out to make sure everything was working okay. And when the washer got to the spin cycle, it started vibrating so hard it tried to walk down the hallway. I jumped on it to try to hold it in position and ended up going for a ride. That's how hard it was shaking. The instruction manual gave no hint, so I contacted the manufacturer and asked customer service. The reply said in no uncertain terms, "You need to remove the shipping rods." Well, I flipped it on its back, and sure enough, there they were, the shipping rods still screwed into the back of the machine. I pulled them out and ran it through another wash cycle, and it was like a different animal. It didn't move a fraction of an inch during the spin. Lesson learned, always double-check the installation when done by somebody else. We're lucky it didn't do any permanent damage. The bathroom turned out especially nice, thanks to Jan, who had the final say on the design. Both the shower and the toilet area have a special pebbled tile, giving the room a unique look. My wife also selected the shower door, helping to make what otherwise would be a plain, limited space shower into a very attractive yet functional space. The eye goes immediately to that shower. There is a small, mirrored, built-in medicine cabinet next to the larger mirror with the lights up above. All of that in conjunction with the vanity down below next to the medicine cabinet and below the other mirror. It's a sink that is built right into the vanity. Around the corner from the bathroom is the bedroom. This was once home to the cave. It's come a long way since those days. We built a small closet into one corner, enough to get some seasonal clothing out to wear.
Well, that's it for this one. I'll be back with number 7 before you know it. In the meantime, I'll ask again that you subscribe to my channel. I know, everyone asks you to do the same thing. The difference is, I really need the numbers. So take a moment and click that little red subscribe button, if for no other reason than that. Until number 7, thanks for watching. So long.